In the 1996 film Ridicule, directed by Patrice Leconte, we peer into a window of French aristocratic society on the eve of the Revolution. The film follows the journey of Baron Grégoire Ponce-Loudon de Malavoie, a talented engineer from the provinces who travels to the court of King Louis XVI at Versailles to secure funding for a drainage project that would eradicate mosquito-infested swamps in his region, thus preventing deadly malaria. However, he quickly learns that merit and necessity are powerless in the face of wit, manipulation, and courtly intrigues. Mathilde, a similarly talented commoner and love interest of Ponce Loudon, conducts scientific research but also finds herself stymied by her lack of noble birth. The film depicts their struggle to navigate the perilous waters of aristocratic society, where one's fate is determined not by one's contributions to society, but by one's ability to engage in and withstand relentless ridicule and superficial banter. The film highlights a broader societal issue which persists in the present day, where a vast amount of human potential is squandered due to systemic barriers erected by the ruling class. Only after the revolution, when the guillotine claims the lives of many aristocrats, do the talents and contributions of common people like Ponce Loudon and Mathilde begin to be recognized. The film serves as a reminder of the dangers inherent in a society that elevates status above talent. When the entrenched class hierarchy continues to favor those with the right connections over natural potential, it can only lead to one direction: its inevitable downfall. Folks, I had another video planned, but I feel like so much happened in the news this past week that I just had to postpone it. Now, if you thought the drama at KP would die down since Kate emerged from her mysterious hiatus, you would be mistaken. Last week, Kate announced to the world that she no longer wants to be known for her fashion, but rather her work. The statement immediately led to a collective WTF, and the internet was awash with jokes about her work, but it seems Kate may have stepped on some toes with her impetuous decision. Now, it's unclear why Kate came to this dramatic decision. The announcement just came off as haphazard and not well thought through. I wondered if maybe it had something to do with the faux pas of wearing the Chanel purse to the visit to the Holocaust Memorial, or could it be the criticism about her lack of work engagements? Critics pointed out that the impact of her decision would in fact be devastating to the British economy. Now, I don't know how much of that is an exaggeration. I mean, look, folks, no matter what your feelings are on Kate, you have to admit that she looks good in just about everything she wears. And according to some estimates, the Kate effect pulls in northward of £1 billion in sales every year, primarily from mainstay British designers. So her announcing that she would no longer be issuing press statements about her clothes because she wants to be taken more seriously was a pretty hard slap in the face for a lot of fashion houses, many of whom have built their brand off of Kate's influence. Not long after, KP issued this very dramatic about face. It turns out that the palace spokesperson who heralded Kate's announcement was none other than Roya Nika, who claimed that, oh no, Kate never said any such thing. It was me. This despite previous reports stating that the decision came directly from Kate herself. Folks, this just reminded me of the Photoshop incident. Now, whenever William or Kate have some awkward foot in mouth moment, they find somebody to blame in order to deflect any criticism from themselves. It was already announced far and wide that Kate was so frustrated with being seen as merely a clothes horse. Focus on my work, she said. Now we're supposed to believe that after the fallout, that it wasn't her, it was someone else. What surprised me was that the royal spokesperson, whose identity is usually limited to just that, was unveiled and had to dutifully fall on the sword to protect Kate's pristine reputation. Now, why not just come out and say, look, I made a mistake. You can go back to talking about my clothes. I didn't realize it would hurt people, yada, yada, yada. But oh no, this is classic Kate, Miss Perfect. And look, I do think that in general, Kate's projects have been mostly performative and not very impactful, but there are worse things in life than being known for looking good in clothes. Now, what makes this story even more puzzling is that just a week prior to her announcement, it was reported that King Charles bestowed on her the power to issue royal warrants. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's basically a royal seal of approval given to certain brands patronized by the royals, and it comes with a fancy appellation and quite a bit of clout to whichever lucky business happens to receive one. Now, you would think that a mighty privilege such as that wouldn't be taken lightly. So why then would she turn around a week later and declare that she no longer wants anyone talking about her brands? It makes no sense. And I saw this snippet mentioning that William lobbied his father to have him grant her these powers. Now what is William up to? Is he setting her up again? Now, I wouldn't put it past William to do something diabolical, such as, say, cut off her clothing allowance, then convince his father to make her into a royal clothing influencer with, not enough money to buy any clothes. Now, do I believe he is that petty? Yes, I do. But on the other hand, I can't help but think that much of Kate's decision has something to do with trying to keep up with a certain in-law across the pond. Now, folks, I have no interest in keeping a Kate versus Meghan score sheet here. I think they are both beautiful women, but why does the British press feel the need to always drag Meghan into the conversation when talking about Kate? You see, this is what makes me think that she is trying to compete, or at least to prove somehow that she too is a woman of substance. Now, prior to Meghan's entry into the family, she was already known for having an international presence and for her humanitarian work, all while starring on the hit series Suits. And Harry remarked on this in his book that because of her background in humanitarian work, he thought she would be a perfect addition to his very unique family. Now, Harry had many girlfriends over the years, but Meghan was the one who had the right mix of brains and beauty. Now, I've mentioned before that I believe personally that Kate adored Harry, and not just in a brotherly way. I think that Harry's innate kindness was like a patch of warmth in the cold tundra of the royal family. Her problems with William and his frequent dalliances, blatant disrespect towards her, have been well documented over the years. And I don't know, sometimes I wonder if somewhere in the back of her mind, she is trying to prove to Harry that she can also be all that. I don't know, could just be a coincidence. Although I would say that after Meghan entered the firm, Kate's wardrobe underwent a major overhaul. Gone were the frumpy coat dresses. Soon she was seen wearing smart pantsuits and looking less schoolgirl and more sophisticated working woman. Now, it's no secret that there is a considerable amount of acrimony when it comes to the Sussexes and the rest of the family. In 2021, when Harry and Meghan sat down for this interview while Meghan was heavily pregnant with her second child, she spilled her guts to Oprah about her brief time as a working royal. The interview ultimately struck on what seems to be the main bone of contention between the Sussexes and the then Cambridges. Meghan recanted that while she was pregnant with her first child, there seemed to be some concern over the complexion of the yet-to-be-born Archie Sussex. Now, who it is that voiced their concern was never revealed, at least not in the interview. Now, fast forward a couple of years, and Omid Scobie published in his book Endgame, where in it the Dutch version revealed the identities of the royal skin tone police to be none other than Kate and Charles. Well, Kate's name being called, according to some people, and I'm not sure if I agree with this, is the reason for her prolonged absence last year. That to this day, they have offered up a salad bowl of possible explanations. Anyway, when questioned, the palace simply replied that recollections may vary, offering no further details, neither confirming nor denying. And well, to this day, this has left a gaping wound in the relationship between Harry and Meghan and the principals in the firm, with many critics insisting that this revelation tarnished the reputation of the royal family beyond repair. Later, Piers Morgan claimed that the skin tone remark was indeed from Charles and Kate, prompting the palace to threaten him with legal action. But to be honest, folks, I don't give any credence to anything this man says. He's been on a lifelong quest for relevance for as long as I can remember. And well, I think he'll say just about anything for attention. Now, since the Sussexes' exit and subsequent media appearances, Harry and Meghan have been persona non grata, with the royal rota acting as the family's personal attack dogs. This week, Invictus kicked off, and there's no denying that it has been a resounding success. Harry's Invictus Games has been a thorn in the heir's side for quite some time now. He even at one point tried to take credit for its founding, using his ranking within the family in an attempt to wrestle away control from his brother. Particularly telling was the lack of congratulations from his father, or well, any royal member for that matter. Imagine a whole king seeing his younger child achieving so much success and reacting with pettiness. But Charles has always been weak and easily influenced, and I have no doubt that William, more so than anyone else, has convinced his father to carry on with this omerta against the rogue royals. Anyway, Harry and Meghan weren't holding back on the PDA, something that clearly infuriated quite a few people across the pond. The reaction was almost unanimous. Why, bemoaned one particularly aggrieved journalist, do they have to insist on referring to each other as husband and wife?
Very carefully called Harry my husband, which they always do in public. It drives me mad. They call each other my husband and my wife.
Yikes! Don't they know they should be having affairs and treating each other coldly like real aristocrats? Which brings me to this next piece. This scandalous article popped up this week wherein a royal insider exposed some sort of bizarre hierarchy of Britain's aristocratic women. And right off the bat, there were some things that raised eyebrows, starting with a headline, which stated that William calls upon a certain woman when he wants to blow off steam. I'm sorry, what? What happened to him and Kate being so much in love? Now, the article also featured quite prominently Rose Hambury, who we haven't heard much from in a while, but who, according to this list, sits atop the throne as far as who everyone's husband wants to shag. Isn't she married? Okay, I don't know about you folks, but this just came off as sleazy to me. The article treated us to a distillation of Britain's aristocratic pecking order, veering between the voyeuristic and the absurd, fixating on trivialities such as who is seen with whom, and an obsession with proximity to the royal family, a proximity that operates as a form of social currency. Take Pippa, for instance, who made the A-list. Her value isn't derived from any particular achievements, but rather from her sister's crown-adjacent position. The very position that landed her hedge fund husband, and who is happy to cosplay as Lady of the Manor, banishing the peasant townfolk from accessing a walkway on her exclusive estate. Now, aside from the obsequiousness coming from the writer, it felt like I was reading something from straight out of the Gilded Age. It made me realize just how hopelessly stuck in the past Britain remains, clutching at this outdated class system that does nothing to advance the country. It's like this endless performance of exclusivity is putting the brakes on social mobility. But it didn't end there. The next day, this very embarrassing headline emerged detailing William's addiction to porn, going all the way back to his college days, and that still continues to this day, and that Kate is mortified. Now, why would the British press release these two very critical, dare I say, hit pieces on William? You know something has to be going on behind the scenes. Now, here's what I think. I think we're witnessing a press war between the Wales and the Middletons. Last week, it was revealed that Carol is still gunning for a title. Now, she's been after one for quite some time, but she still hasn't seemed to be quite successful, not yet at least. Then finally, William and Kate announced that they will not be attending the BAFTAs this year. Well, that's strange. Here we have yet another fancy ball ground event that Kate will be missing. Maybe the budget angle isn't so far-fetched after all. Now, if you recall last year, William appeared solo with all the confidence and swagger of an eligible bachelor. This was when we still couldn't figure out what was going on with Kate. And well, folks, if you're left feeling even more confused than when you first started watching this video, I take full responsibility. I'm just as confused as you are. Anyway, I'll drop that video by this weekend, I promise. And well, after that, brace yourselves. The next one's gonna be something. So drop a line in the comments. Let me know what you think. And I'd like to give a special thanks to those of you who left me super thanks. Somebody gave me a $20 super thanks. Oh my God. Thank you so much. You have no idea how much that means to me. I just enjoy sharing these movies with you and my opinions and reading your opinions. Whether you agree with me or you disagree with me, I welcome all opinions in the comment section. Don't hold back, just let me know what you think. And yeah, I'll catch you all in the next video.